everybody, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Whitney Armistead and I'm the Director of Hospitality and Culinary Services here at All Points North Lodge. And you're joining me today in the third floor pod kitchen, which is a beautiful backdrop. It is also an absolutely spectacular September day here. And it kind of inspired me to teach you guys today about some fall breakfast items. As the temperatures start to change, as the leaves start to change, we're going to start wanting some different things. And I know that the pumpkin spice latte craze is a huge hit right now. We're going to bring a little bit of that into our breakfast. However, the first thing I'm going to teach you guys today is how to make your own chai lattes at home. So I'm going to very shortly here be joined by Leo Flynn, who is our lead RA, and I'm going to put him to the flame and see if he can handle our quick fire word challenge. And it all has to do with fall foods. So to start, chai is a delicious spicy black tea. It's got a bunch of different spices in there. I'm going to show you guys kind of how to start making your own blend. And there are a couple of different ways to do this. There are a few different ingredients you can add. Typically there's 5 spices that are comprise a chai spice blend. However, you can always add more. Typically there's about 8 that are really, really good. They all complement each other. They all have beautiful flavor profiles that all work together. So the first thing that we're going to need to do in order to make our chai latte is to make our spice blend and make our chai syrup. So what I have here, if you can see my little stove over here on the side, this is an induction burner. It works off of magnets. You need a heavy bottom pot to do this. I like stainless steel. The heavier the better. The more magnets move around, the more induction we get, the more induction heat. So I can stick my hand right on this thing and I'm not going to feel any heat. However, if I put the pan on top and allow it to warm up a little bit, that's when I'm going to start to feel the heat. If you don't have one of these, that's okay. These things are a really cool tool to have in the kitchen. I can actually hear it starting to work now. The molecules of the metal are starting to move and heat up, and it's actually expanding, which is making this really cool hissing sound. I don't know if you can hear it. The first thing I've got, I'm going to move this off to the side for a moment. I've got the start of my spice blend. So I have clove, cinnamon. I like to use cinnamon sticks. Unfortunately, I didn't have any in the kitchen today, so I'm using ground cinnamon, which just means I have to strain it a little bit more. However, whole cinnamon sticks are going to give you a really great flavor, and it's not going to thicken your syrup too much. I have black peppercorns, fennel seed, coriander. I like to use pods, or again, didn't have any, or sorry, cardamom. Cardamom pods are excellent. They give this really interesting sweet citrusy flavor. And I have fresh ginger. You can also use star anise, which gives this kind of licorice-y flavor to it. It's also quite nice. And then I actually have some honey here, which we're going to use as our sweetener for our latte today. So in my pan, I'm going to get this nice and warm. Yeah, it's getting there. And now I need to toast all of my spices. This is going to get some nice rich flavors. It's going to open them up a little bit so they're not quite so flat. And then when we go to steep our tea, we're going to have a little bit different of a flavor profile because of how open all of these spices are. So I've got a nice hot pan here. I'm getting all of my spices in the pan to start toasting. The only thing that I'm not going to toast, obviously, is my fresh ginger. This will go in the second step. And in the second step, I'm going to be adding my black tea, my ginger, and some water. And we're going to cook this down, create a little bit of a syrup with the honey in there. And then that will go into our latte itself. I wish you guys could smell this. It's amazing. So chai spice is fantastic. And again, we feel it a lot. Come on in, Leo. We feel it a lot we see it a lot in the fall. Again, because those spices are really prominent. Don't trip on the floor. So Leo's here. I don't know if you guys can see him. If you want to come around the side, that's fine. So all of my spices are getting kind of toasty and spicy. Can you smell them?
Would let me down the hall.
That's right. All right, so now from this point, now that we've got everything toasted, I'm going to add in my fresh ginger, my water, excuse me, I have a little tickle in my throat, and my honey. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to allow this to boil. All of these flavor profiles are going to start to create the syrup itself. And once this starts to boil, I'm going to add in my black tea. Now, if you like to use loose leaf tea, that is an option as well. Again, we do have a lot of things that need to strain out of this syrup base anyway. So if you like loose leaf tea, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm right now using about 4 black tea leaves, or black tea bags. These come from 2 Leaves in a Bud, which is the tea that we provide here on campus. And it is fantastic. It's made locally in the state of Colorado. And their tea is just delicious. Do you like their tea, Leo?
It's great. I drink more coffee. I love the color coffee, but
yeah, that's all right. So, again, once this comes to boil, I'm going to allow my tea to steep in here for about 10 to 15 minutes. Give it a really good strain. Make sure we get all of the particles out. Again, there's going to be some sediment because we're working with spices. That's what they do. So once this comes to a boil again, steep it. Set it to the side, strain it, and then you are ready for your latte. I already made some earlier today. It's in my cup here. So I've filled it about 2/3 of the way up with the spice tea blend that we made earlier. And now I have some frothed almond milk. Leo here is a vegan, which is great. I support that. I don't do dairy, so I understand. However, we're going with almond milk today. I personally prefer oat milk. I don't know how you feel about your lattes and your coffee.
Either way.
Yeah, there's something a little bit different about it. Oat milk has a protein structure in there that actually mimics the whole fat feel of milk when you're steaming it. So it actually thickens, it creates a really neat foam. So I'm going to, now I've got my hot syrup in there, I've got my steamed milk, and then I'm going to finish it off with the foam from the top. Again, almond milk does some interesting things. It's got a little bit of a different texture than with your oat milk. Soy milk froths really well. Almond milk's a little bit different. So I'm gonna make you drink this.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you're ready. Let me give it a little stir to make sure all the spice blend got mixed in there. You'll have to tell me how it is. Okay, it's a little sweet, not too sweet, and I'm gonna trade you some if that's all right. Alright, so he can let us know how that is. Hopefully it's not too spicy for him.
No. Spit take coming up here.
Alright, I'm going to move this off to the side.
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh,
delicious.
I'm so glad you like it. Alright, and then the next thing we're going to do for our fall breakfast that we've been talking about is an overnight oat. This one is going to be a pumpkin spice overnight oat. To kind of bring in those flavors of fall. If you don't know about overnight oats, they're amazing. They're really easy to make. It also makes for really fast mornings, fast breakfasts. So, are you a big fan of overnight oats?
Yeah, I love them.
Good, okay, good.
Mine are much simpler than, I don't have all the...
These are just the toppings,
yeah,
so don't get too worried. Okay. All right, so what we're looking for, when we're doing overnight oats, it's a ratio. So I'll put this recipe up on the feed after we're finished with the episode today. Right now, we're going to go for a 1-to-1 on our milk to oats. We're also using almond milk for this application as well. We're going dairy-free today for both of us. So I have about 1.5 cups of quick oats here. I'm going to get those in my bowl. I'm also going to use chia seed. This is going to be kind of the glue. It's going to give it a really nice texture and it's going to hold everything together. In past episodes, we've talked about chia seeds and what they do, how they interact once they start absorbing moisture, kind of how and what their purpose is. So again, this is going to be the glue. Now, what we do as far as our ratio is concerned, whatever you choose as far as how much or how many oats you put in there, say we're putting a cup of oats in, I'm going to put 1/4 cup of chia seed. So I've got 1.5 cups. I have just over, it's like about 3 ounces of chia seeds. So again, those are going to be my glue. They're going to add some texture and they're going to add some soluble fiber.
Have you ever made your chia pudding for these guys?
No, I haven't made chia pudding yet. We've used them for other things though. We made a chia egg for vegan baking. We used them in our no-bake cookies as our glue, but we can do a chia pudding soon too. It's so good. And it's a healthy, nice, easy snack. You can use it for breakfast, you can use it for a snack, it can be a dessert if you want. It's all...
I just can't match what you make, but yeah. So good.
You're great. All right, so I've got my got my chia seeds and my oats together. I also, because we're going pumpkin spice here, I have a little bit of clove, a little bit of nutmeg, and a teeny bit of cinnamon in my spice blend today. I have about a half teaspoon of clove, teaspoon of nutmeg, teaspoon of cinnamon. So that's gonna go right in. We're gonna make sure that's really well incorporated. If we don't mix all these dry ingredients together before we add our liquid, then we get clumps of chia seeds, clumps of seasoning, and then it's not gonna be as well-rounded when we go to eat the dish. Okay, I have maple syrup. I figured that this would be a really nice sweetener for today. Again, it's a natural one. It's, you know, flavors of the season, goes well with pumpkin. I like it. And then I have my 1-to-1 ratio. I've got my almond milk here. I'm gonna start to stir this in. There you go. Awesome. And I've got about a half a cup of canned cooked pumpkin. Canned for simplicity. If you want to roast off your own pumpkin, by all means, I'm not going to tell you no. You get a really good reaction from that. The flavors change a little bit, especially if you leave a little bit of the roasted bits in there. Some of the sugars start to come out and caramelize. It's pretty tasty. Okay, so this is getting mixed together. I'm already starting to see absorption from the chia seeds and the oats. Oats are really great. They're really good for the body. They've got beta-glucan, which is the fiber that's in there that actually helps you stay full. It's very protein-packed. We've got a lot of good health benefits to this. It's a great way to start your morning. All right, so if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see in my bowl, everything's really well mixed. Now I'm gonna add my sweetener. Again, we can use honey, we can use mashed banana, we can use a lot of different things to naturally sweeten our breakfast. However, honey is a little bit different, especially if our milk is cold. It's gonna chill the honey and it's gonna make it really hard to mix this. So if you're gonna use that, warm your honey first, mix that in with all of your other ingredients, then add your milk.
I just can't get enough maple syrup.
No?
No.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as we can see, this is still kind of watery. It's still a little loose. But what it's going to do as it sits overnight it's magic. The chia seeds, I'd give it about 2 hours if you need to make a day of. But what it's going to do is the chia seed and the oats are going to start to absorb all of the moisture around them, and it's going to create almost a pudding texture. It's magical. They're amazing. They taste really good. So I'm going to get some of these in my glass. I like to use a glass. I see people use jars often, just because you can throw a lid on it, take it to work.
Yeah, that's what I do at home. I just get to set up a few jars and you have breakfast for a week.
Perfect, yeah. This stuff will hold in the fridge for quite a few days. Before the texture starts to change drastically, and the flavors start to change drastically. All right, so I'm gonna set this off to the side as well. So here. Okay, so I have in front of you a beautifully done glass of my somewhat loose, sorry, is there a spoon right there?
Yes.
Can I have that, please? Thank you very much. So my overnight oats. So again, these are gonna sit, the flavors are gonna grow. We have a lot of, pumpkin is awesome. It's got beta carotene in it. It's really good for the body, really good for your gut health, your skin, your eyes. There's the health benefits are amazing. So again, if you're looking for a really healthy, wonderful breakfast, I'd go this route. Now, I don't know about you, but I like to add a little bit of almond butter to mine.
I haven't done that.
Yeah, so before it sets up, it's kind of like, like the cream in the middle of a donut.
Yeah.
So kind of the same concept. So while it's still a little loose,
So you put it in
before
it's set up.
before it sets up, so that it'll sink down to the middle.
Mm.
So that way, when I go in the morning and go to eat it, I can either stir it in, or it's like almond butter, happy birthday. So that's what I like to do. I also have some coconut here for a little bit of texture, flavor, a little sweetness. Okay. Dried cherries. These again, great for the body, lots of vitamins, lots of fiber, really good for you, it'll keep you full. Also give you a little sugar punch so you get a little energy in the morning. And then to stick with tradition, or stick with the theme rather, I've got some toasted pumpkin seeds here, so those are going to go right on top. And I have myself a beautiful fall breakfast.
Delicious.
All right.
Mine never looks that good.
That's all right. Well, now you know, right?
All right.
So I'll give you the
Get some
recipe.
tips.
I'll
Thank
give you
you.
the recipe. So now, in order to earn that latte that
Oh.
you've consumed, we're going to go with 5 words. They're all going to be fall related. And you need to tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. It can be anything.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I thought I was just getting a latte.
No, you got to earn this thing. So
Okay.
the first thing that I'm going to say is pumpkin.
Seeds.
Leaves.
Big air.
Snow.
Fun.
Awesome. Cinnamon
Delicious.
and maple.
Pretty.
Perfect. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday. As fall continues, we're going to be teaching you guys all sorts of great things to lead us into winter. We're going to be changing up our menu here at the Lodge in a couple of weeks. October 1st is when we start our new fall menu, so we're going to have some new menu items to teach you guys. So thank you, Leo, for joining me
Thanks,
today.
Whitney.
Yeah, and thank you guys. I'll see you soon.
See you, everybody.